Good morning and welcome to round 7 of the HART Sapphire series. We're here at Nissan Arena all day today. My name is Hannah Davies and I'll be running you through all the netball action today. It is the Indigenous round here at HART Sapphire series, so we will be continuing to celebrate and embrace our Indigenous culture. Today I am joined firstly by Lucy Benjamin as my co-commentator. Lucy, how are you?
Good morning. I'm very well. I'm very excited to be back on the mic and watching some Sapphire Series netball, that's for sure.
Yeah, you said you've done most of the Mendi Rays games, so you are my resident Mendi Rays expert now.
Oh God, no, don't throw me under the bus for that.
So of course, this morning, firstly, we have the USC Thunder taking on the Northern Mendi Rays. It is 4th versus 8th on the ladder. But of course, at the HART Sapphire series, anything can happen. Lucy, what are you expecting from our match first up?
I think it'll be a tight one. You know, the USC Thunder has been, this was their year. You know, they've been disrupted a fair bit in the past few years just with players being in and out. And, you know, they look to be a little bit more solid this year, but they've still been hit by injury to the Lightning players, meaning that they lost some of their key players. But they seem to be staying really strong. They've got a few of their key players who are still there and battling away, and Chloe Bingham's, back from injury as well. So, no, I'm very interested to see what will happen. But the Rays are also hitting their straps and getting a bit stronger every game they play.
Oh, absolutely. Both teams are developing really nicely as we hit the halfway point of our season. The Rays have been working in a new shooting circle with some more movement. And, of course, as we spoke about, the Thunder have seen a few injuries, but I think they'll be back on track today. So last night, QT took on the Wildcats, also here at Nissan Arena, where they had a win. And later today, we'll see the Bond University Bull Sharks against the Cougars, and then Carina League's Club Tigers against the USQ Jets, all right here at Nissan Arena. So this is our team card for the Mendi Rays today. We have Chantal Tikatau at goal shooter, Luca Bellarayan at goal attack, Tiana Bloomfield in wing attack, Jordan Namiro in centre, Eden Cassidy wing defence, Courtney Elliott, the captain, in goal defence, and Chloe Cooper in goalkeeper. And of course our subs today, Rebecca Rounds, Maya Thomas, Claudia Philp, and coached by the wonderful Angela Cooper. And Lucy, will you do me the honour of running through the USC
Sure
Thunder?
Can.
When that pops up in a second.
And for the USC Thunder, in goal shooter, we've got Chloe Bingham. Goal attack, Annie Laurie. Wing attack, Chanel Dyer. I had a game with Chanel last night, actually. She's a great footy player,
Not
too.
a netball game?
No, not a netball game. Centre, Monique French. Wing defence, Amy Metcalf. Goal defence, Ashley Barnett. Goalkeeper, Sienna Allen. On the bench, we've got Jacqueline Dupuy, Sarah Harris, Lily McClure, and coached by Jessica Whitford.
Beautiful. And of course, our umpires today are Rachel Thomas, Kelly Finlay and Claire Johnson as our reserves, so a big thank you to them today. And today our acknowledgement of country will be done by Akira for us today, which is very special as it is our Indigenous round. So we're just seeing the players take the court, bouncing around a bit, getting the nerves out of the way. So Lucy, you tell me Chanel Dyer had a game last night.
She had a cracking game last night as well, actually. So I'll be interested to see how her body pulls up this
I'm
morning.
Very impressed by that.
She's such an athlete, though. She's so fit and strong that I wouldn't be surprised if she plays even better for it.
Oh, quite possibly. I think she'll have to watch the contacts on her, perhaps.
Maybe she might make sure she doesn't handball off a ball or something like that.
Of course. And just before we get underway, we'd like to thank our sponsors: HART Sport, Legassic, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, Powerade, Bondi Bite and Strap It, and our broadcast team, Double Take Sports.
And we are underway with a Rays centre pass first up. That's a much cleaner start to their attack than I've seen in previous weeks. They can often struggle to get it down the court. There's a fair bit of pressure, and that was a really excellent centre pass. They found really good space and finished off with a goal. So that's a great start to the Rays.
Oh, and there we go. Chloe Cooper. She was a standout last week for me. So it's no surprise that she's gotten started this early in the game. And of course we've seen a few player movements in the Rays throughout the last few weeks, just finding their groove, seeing what works for them. They found the most success so far with a moving circle. They, of course, still have Rebecca Rounds on the sideline. So should be plenty of good action from that team today.
I think that, you know, teams have tended to move towards a big holding shooter, so teams have also worked their defence around that, and people know how to defend that now. There aren't many teams that are could specially defend a quick moving short circle. So it's a benefit to them that they can play that, and that's clear because they're out to a 3-0 lead.
Absolutely. What a start from the Rays. But you're completely right. I think diversity and the ability to play different styles of netball within the 60 minutes is so integral to any team. And there's Chloe Bingham, sinks her first shot.
Great work from Chloe Bingham. Back from, I'm not sure, how many weeks has she been back now? She broke her finger a little while ago.
I think she had about 8 weeks off, and she had her first game last week.
Oh,
we got
brilliant.
like a tentative last quarter, I think. But she's back.
Great to see her back on court. She's been working really hard the last couple of years from playing in Ruby teams up to Sapphire now, and has really earned her place here.
Yeah, and Annie Laurie's had to have a few different shooters in the circle there with her.
She's so patient though, Annie, and she's so smart with her game. She reads off what's in front of her. So, you know, regardless of who she's playing with, I feel like she could adapt really well to whatever she's got to do.
Oh, absolutely, and we've definitely helped develop her play throughout the year by playing with a shooter almost every week. Binny and Hunt is, of course, still with the Lightning side. And Chloe Littleton today is sitting on the sideline with injury.
Great play there. Great control from Chanel not to go offside. Take it straight to the top of the circle, deliver it into Chloe Bingham, and that's the attack you like to see from the Thunder.
She's taking him out from quite a distance there, Chloe Bingham is.
Yeah, she's a confident shooter. She actually lives quite close to me, and occasionally, especially during lockdown, I'd find her at the courts just sinking shots all day. She's a good egg.
There we go.
She works really hard.
So, of course, Lucy, you were goal attack back in your day, is that correct?
Yeah, well, for the last couple of seasons, I've been a shooter, obviously, a lot more of my career. And then, you know, as everyone else grew, and I'm too old to grow anymore, I got moved
I don't know, Lucy, you're standing right beside me and you're pretty tall. So
I know, well, yeah.
God help the rest of the goal attacks.
I know, well, look at the Jets. If you look at the Jets team, I was average. Yeah, they're a pretty freakishly
Charlie
tall
Bell, hey.
team. Yeah, no, but it was an absolute pleasure to work with Charlie Bell and those girls, and she's still one of my favourite people. She's such good value. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the switch. It was something good to, you know, not do the same thing day in, day out again and change it up and learn something different.
Yeah, well, I can tell you certainly love to switch things up, playing AFL now. That's a massive switch up.
Yeah, I played AFL at school, so it was more of just an opportunity. A few things fell into place, and it was quite easy for me to jump back into it. So, no, I'm really enjoying it though. I still love watching the netball, and this comp is just going to get stronger and stronger. Part of me watches these games, and I'm like, I'm glad I retired when I did, because these girls are so impressive. It gets harder and harder every year to compete.
And they're younger and younger too. I think Dakota Newson on QT is 15.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
It's scary.
I'm so impressed by what the Rays are doing at the moment. They're really composed. They're settling. That was, oh no.
So we've just had Barnett come down.
Barnett's gone down. Hopefully it's just a stinger. She is strapped, so hopefully she just needs to walk it off. Thunder finish off with that goal. They might need a...
She hasn't called time.
Hasn't called time. Looks like, yeah, she'll be right. Walk it off.
God, it always scares me when they come down like that.
Know. Just a stinger.
Yeah.
But the thing that the Rays have been, like, they've got such impressive play. Like, you know, Cooper and Elliott in defence is so strong for them. And Tikatau and Rin have really settled in the last couple of weeks. But they do lack that consistency. And you know, once they get fatigued and under pressure, they start making errors and their decision-making goes a little bit. So this is a chance for them. They've come out really strong here. This is such a great start for them. If they can maintain that pressure, then they'll be able to stick it with Thunder the whole game.
Yeah, I completely agree. We saw them last week against the Cougars, and the start of their game was definitely the strongest. They made a resurgence in the fourth quarter, of course, so it seems to maybe be a fatigue thing, but also their squad is quite large, so...
Yeah, and the other thing is they live... You know, there's a couple of girls, obviously, who live in Brisbane. There's a couple of girls who live all over the northern region of Queensland. So it's not like every other Brisbane team. Oh, that is an excellent tip there from Cooper. Hard luck there getting the contact call, but she worked really hard to get a finger to that. they don't train, you know, every other team in this competition is training together 2 or 3 times a week, strength and conditioning programs. They're living on top of each other almost. But the Rays don't have that opportunity to gel the way that the other teams do. So it's massively hard for them to slot into a competition like this when they don't have that opportunity.
It's certainly a challenge, isn't it? But that challenge they're definitely taking in their stride. And there's Annie Laurie with another shot for the Thunder to bring them to 9-6. So the Rays will need to do something here before the Thunder go on their way.
They need to break this momentum. They're working really hard in defence. You know, that is an amazing tip there from Elliott. Well read from her. Unable to keep it in court. But they're not letting the Thunder get momentum. They're not letting them get easy ball down into their circle. Great vision there from Monique French to deliver it over the top to Annie Laurie.
Yeah, she's really settled into that centre position for the Thunder very nicely. So Cassidy works it down to Rin. Finds Rin again. And
great play there. Really lovely swing.
On the baseline, puts it up for the Rays. So they're still 3 away. 1 turnover is what they need.
It's not much, and we've seen that they can turn the ball over really easily.
Especially with Chloe Cooper and Courtney Elliott. As I say her name, they get the throw in.
Uncharacteristic rebound there, miss I should say, from Bingham, but picked up well by the Rays. This is one area they've struggled a little bit, is their through-court transition. You know, when they get a turnover in that defence end, getting it down the court nice and safely, they tend to kind of have a bit of a brain fart and throw the ball away, or, you know, make a poor decision. But that was a really nice play for them. It was really patient. It was really settled. They waited for that space to open up.
And if you have a look at the circle right now, it's very physical between Tikatau and Barnett. But Tikatau, the shortest in the circle there, stays strong. She's certainly fast.
Sienna Allen is a really impressive goalkeeper. It's so good to see her back on court after an injury last year. But she's incredibly strong. And,
footwork
there from Rin. And it's under that pressure situation that you make little mistakes like that, and they've just got to slow it down and be a bit more patient.
And speaking of pressure situations, Annie Laurie, miscommunication there. So they'll have to work hard again to get the turnover. That was really quick reaction time from Chanel Dyer. It's, you know, half a second of a loose ball and she was on it. And Chloe Cooper.
It's going back and forth.
It really is. It's a game of defence right now. So Jordan Namuru, a bit of a playmaker here.
She's doing really well in that mid, especially against someone like Monique French. The idea was right, but those long arms of Sienna Allen, you're just never going to find much space through those. But she's against someone like Monique French, she's stepping up and she's doing some really excellent work.
Chloe Cooper
again with a tip.
She's such a star in that goalkeeper position.
You can see Thunder are starting to get a little bit stressed now. They probably thought coming into this game it would be, you know, maybe a little bit easy, maybe, you know, they'd push them a little bit, but in the end they'd run out on top. But the Rays are really making them fight for it.
Oh, certainly, and I think that's something you often find when you come up against a team that has the easy beat label. You see it in every code we have. You just can't underestimate them.
The other thing is that the Rays are only going to improve. You know, they didn't compete in the competition last year, so, you know, that would have been a massive loss for them not to have that level of competition. And, you know, every other team is kind of at their high point. The Rays are just going to build and build and build, and they're only going to keep improving throughout the season. So they're definitely ones to watch.
And there's Chloe Bingham, gets her rebound. She's a very strong rebounder under the circle there.
She's very strong in the air and just physically strong in general. She holds her space very well and protects her shot. Great patience there from the Rays, not to just force it into hands when there is a lot of pressure there from the USC Thunder defenders. And
so much.
Having said that, is excellent defensive pressure. They've got a bit of a diamond set up with the centre and the wing defence floating around the top of the circle. Split circle inside the circle with Barnett and Allen, and it's just so hard to get around those long arms.
And there's French, hits the top of the circle, and she'll pop that into Laurie, who works it around to the 2-point super shot zone. Gets a missed ball.
Contact call on Bingham, puts the ball back in control of the Rays. They do need to keep this game as close as we've seen it. They really need to score off this. They haven't capitalised on the last few of their opportunities. Great vision there from Elliott down the court to Namu. And, great rebound from Rin. Thought that was going in, but she backed her up well and finished off.
So they're staying in contest, the Rays. 9-12 to the Thunder. A great little dodge there from Dyer. Sets her up to put it straight in. They're going to have to work around, though. There's a lot of pressure coming from the Rays. And they eventually find Bingham under the post to bring them to 13-9 with 3 minutes to go in this first stanza. So we've had a positional change for this USC Thunder with really... My eyesight's not great.
I know, neither. I'm terrible. And especially with a few of the injuries, I'm not sure if some of the girls who have been coming in to fill in, and so...
Fresh faces gets me every time. So she's taken off Metcalf there, just to give her a bit of a breather. You can see the girls are chatting to her.
Well, the speed of Bloomfield in wing attack, she's been a bit of a quiet achiever this quarter. Like, she's not necessarily done anything spectacular, but she has done absolutely everything that she needs to do in that wing attack role to make sure that that ball is getting to the edge of the circle. It's getting in nicely to Rin. So I'm not surprised that they've changed the defender on there. Sanders. No, I don't have her on my list. She must be one of the ones filling in.
Neither do I.
I can see that Leah Walno is on crutches hobbling around there.
Do we know what's happened to Leah Walno?
I actually don't, funnily enough.
Because, I'm sure Millsy knows.
I usually, yes, that's true.
He
I
knows
get all my
everything.
information from social media, and it's very rude of Leah to have not posted anything about that for me.
Well, hopefully that means it's a short-term thing.
That's true. That's very true.
We can
Hopefully.
hope.
Sorry, a couple of the footy girls from my team have just walked in over the other side.
There we go. Are they here to see Chanel play?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there we go. So many athletes in the stadium right
great
now.
pull there from Bingham. It's the cross-code support for me. I think it's great.
And there's Bloomfield, feeds it out to Namu. Tikatau working so hard in that circle.
Great idea. The idea was so smart there. That's exactly what they need, but just the execution was not perfect, and it's the execution that needs to be perfect on a pass like that.
Yeah, and especially when you've got Sienna Allen and Ashley Barnett in that circle.
Oh, great pressure there from Chloe Cooper. Bingham keeps it strong, maintains possession, and will finish this one off.
So 30 seconds to go in this first quarter here. The Thunder lead by 5. We'll hope to make this 6, but Cassidy has something to say about that. A great little touch from her, and they'll work hard again. But when Annie Laurie has ball in hand, the Thunder do what they do best.
I've just had some inside knowledge. Leah did her ankle last week.
There we go.
First game. Hopefully, again, not too serious, and the crutches are just there to keep the pressure off, and hopefully we'll see Leah back on court shortly.
Absolutely. So that is the first quarter of the USC Thunder up against the Northern Mendi Rays. The Thunder lead by 6, and we'll just have a short break now as we go to our sponsor.
Without them, we would not be here today. I hope you're all enjoying the first action-packed first quarter.
Welcome back to round 7 of the HART Sapphire series. It is, of course, the Indigenous round this weekend. Such an excellent celebration of our Indigenous and First Nations culture. There's plenty of stuff to come today. On court 4, we do have acknowledgement of country from one of the Panthers players, Kiara Woodbridge. So she's going to be reading a speech of welcoming, friendship, and a hope for the future. And she's attired in traditional Indigenous body art. And if you haven't had the pleasure of experiencing Indigenous body art, it is a genuinely really interesting.
Very cool.
It's very cool. It's something I don't personally see every day, and when you do,
it's pretty special.
Awesome. So we're here with 4th and 8th on the ladder. Lucy, the Thunder lead by 6. What do you think?
I don't think for a first quarter score, I don't think that's really representative of the game that's being played. You know, I think Mendi Rays have been absolutely pushing Thunder to the brink, and you know, have just been unlucky not to capitalise on a few of their opportunities. And I guess a 6 different score doesn't represent how close this game feels. And you can see that in the way that Thunder are playing. They're quite urgent with their game, and you can see them start to get a little bit frazzled at moments because the Rays really are putting them under pressure.
Absolutely, and the Thunder are coming out firing, but the Rays make it hard for each and every team they play. They're certainly the most improved team throughout the season, so they certainly make it hard. So, not a lot of changes for the Mendi Rays here. We've got Eden Cassidy on its wing attack now. And Claudia Philp as the wing defence. Oh, and a great feed from Cassidy, but it hits the net.
The net gets in the way. It would have been perfect otherwise. Great transition out for the Thunder. It's so hard to defend a ball going down the court when they're just 2 steps in front of you the whole way. Great hold there from Bingham. Pulls it in nice and strong. Cooper makes her work for it, but she does keep possession.
Yeah, she's so good at that hold. She just stands her ground and gets the contact call from her opposition. So Monique French here with the Thunder's ball. Barnett helps the girls work it down the court. And
great hands there from Cooper. She's not letting Bingham push her out of her space. She's following with her every millimetre of the way. Cooper's with Bingham, and that gives her the opportunity to get a little hand in every now and then, like that one right there.
Yeah, we certainly talk about the toughness of netball, and if you take a look at any individual matchup, particularly Dyer and Philp right now, very physical.
That's 3 tips in a row to Cooper there. She's doing a phenomenal job in that circle. And even the off-ball stuff, you watch Chanel and Philp off the ball. It's a constant battle between the two of them. Great turnover there for the Rays. This is an opportunity for them. This is one of those moments they do need to capitalise, and they do through Tikitau. Great shot.
Yeah, Tikitau just improves so much every week. She really has come into her own as a moving goal shooter. She's so fast.
It's the confidence of playing week to week. You know, those first couple of rounds, they were a bit hesitant and, you know, needed to settle into this level of competition because it is. It's, and a contact call on Barnett. And, you know, that is what happens when you barge through players. It is contact, unfortunately.
I think she might have been hoping the umpire wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah.
But she did happen to be right in front of them.
That is a failing point for defenders, is they're often not too gentle in attack, I should say. Great patience here from Thunder to work it around. Cooper called for the obstruction and finished off there by Annie Laurie.
Yeah, a beautiful shooting technique Laurie
She's
has.
textbook Laurie.
I know.
Yeah.
If there was one shooter to look at for emerging shooters, Lucy, in the league, who would you say is one player that has good technique to look at?
The most absolute textbook perfect technique, I would probably say, is Riley Batchagor. Yeah, like she QC. Just, you know what I mean? She she's so settled, so calm. It's the same technique every time. Like, no matter how much pressure she's under, no matter if it's a short shot or a long shot, her technique is perfect.
Yeah, and technique obviously is the basis of shooting, but we do see some funny techniques throughout the
Oh,
game.
you
and
do, yeah.
If it works, it works.
Oh, that's it. I've always,
Slippery
that could have been
hands.
excellent. I know. She was all home alone under the post, which is a defender's worst nightmare, and somehow managed to not pull it in and gives the ball back to Thunder, keeping the margin at 5 unless they can finish this off. And of course Annie Laurie can, never in doubt.
So 21-15 to the Thunder. The Thunder, of course, will be hoping to secure this win. Of course, right now on the ladder, the Thunder and Bull Sharks are tied in 4th place. So between those two teams the next few weeks will be pretty integral to keep winning if they want to make finals.
So they need to, keep the percentage up and so to stay in that top 4 position.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, fair enough.
Of course, USQ Jets, Cougars
brilliant shot there
are
from
looking
Chloe Bingham.
pretty safe so far. But it'll be between QT, Thunder and Bull Sharks, I think, in the next few weeks to see who can make that top 4.
And QT are probably one to keep an eye on. You know, Paula Stewart has a real knack for building her teams throughout the season, so they absolutely peak exactly when they need to. So these next couple of weeks, it'll be very interesting to watch QT.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had a couple of close losses. Oh, and there we go. Philp, a beautiful intercept off the Thunder centre pass. So the Mendi Rays will work hard now to hit the circle. They're struggling a little bit on the outside, but they find their way to Tikatau.
Who finishes it off so well. Their confidence is just growing in that circle. And I think even though, it's unlikely that the Rays could make a top 4 spot at this point in the season, they're definitely that team that could also cause an upset loss that drops another team out. So they're ones to watch.
Yeah, I completely agree. They're only trailing by 4 here, and like I just spoke about, the Thunder can't afford a loss really if they want to make finals.
And they were pretty unlucky to miss out on the grand final even last year, and that narrow loss to our Jet side in the prelim. Great take by Annie Laurie. Excellent vision into the circle.
Yeah, Monique French just looks nowhere else but Laurie right then.
The confidence that Monique has to deliver to her shooters really contributes to that shooting circle. It makes it so easy for them when she delivers it on time, exactly when they need it.
Yeah, the speed at which they transition down the court is probably second to none. They're so fast. Ooh, we've just had a player hit the ground again. That's
Barnett again.
Barnett.
Oh, and this time she is calling time.
So
Didn't really see what happened.
I'm not sure if we have a replay on that. We do not, unfortunately. So she's still walking off the court.
She's walking off quite well, but maybe she just needs a little bit of a rest, have a bit of a breather.
So we have, did we say
Sanders
it was
will come
Sanders?
more. That's what it says on the back of her dress.
It's hard to know though because I know
often
I know
people share
Dyer was
dresses
was wearing the wrong dress. Lucky it's a name that we know well.
I was going to say someone message through if we're not not
please
correct.
do. It's a tough job. And there's Laurie, finishes it off another one for the Thunder. So 25 to the Thunder, 19 the Rays. They're 6 ahead, but there's plenty of fight left in these Rays as Tikatau sinks
And
one.
they finish off great shots like that. They're not letting the Thunder pull away from them. Oh, amazing work there from Phil. She's been doing so well in that wing defence position this quarter.
I know, and especially against Chanel Dyer. This matchup, I think, is my favourite of the game between those two. So it's a one-on-one there between...
Oh, great tip from Cooper. Thunder will have the baseline throw in. But it's not easy for him, is it?
No, they're certainly making them work hard. And there we go. Annie Laurie finds her connection with Chanel Dyer to finish off another one. So the Mendi Rays here really need to make a change.
They just need to lift. You know, they're getting the turnovers and they're getting the opportunities, but they just have these moments of, you know, and it's almost always just a bad pass, or they don't pull it in when they need to pull it in, or you know, something like that. It's not necessarily, not that the Thunder defence are doing anything wrong, but they're not necessarily causing these massive turnovers. It's errors from the Rays that's losing on the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree. Tactically, there's so much strength in the Mendi Rays, and you can see how much potential is there. I think they're just a developing side, and once they can really smooth out those little self-errors,
they're just going to come leaps and bounds in this competition. And, you know, the patience of the Thunder doesn't help. You know, they're so settled in attack. They're really measured. They're taking their time. They've got excellent vision into the circle, and that's hard to defend for the Rays. So when they do get a turnover, they've got to capitalise on it because it doesn't come regularly. Oh, here we go.
So Chloe Bingham, the ball slips out of her hands, so Chloe Cooper.
This is Maya Thomas in wing defence. We've been calling her Philp, apparently.
We have. We do apologise. Our team list
are incomplete at the moment, and they don't have names on the backs of their dresses, so it's hard to pick up.
And of course, even when they do have dresses, half the time,
sometimes
Chanel
they're not the right one.
Wearing Metcalf on her back, so. Oh, and a beautiful transition there from the Rays.
Great double play, great patience there from Cassidy as well.
Rin's holding really nicely in that circle, but the pressure from Allen is making it tough to deliver in.
Allen is so hard to work around. She's very quick. She's got really good footwork. So even sometimes, you know, you think you've burned her, she'll catch you in that last second and still get a hand to the ball.
Of course, and I should particularly mention today that our graphics have integrated Indigenous artwork into our live stream, and these were created by Lalawa. And I will have some more information about who she is very shortly for you. I have this right here. Thank you, Lucy. So Lalawa Bedford is, of course, a proud member of the Murrum tribe of the Arubam, people of Arab. So Arab, also known as Darnley Island, is a northeastern group of the islands of the Torres Strait. So Lalawa was born on Thursday Island on the Kaiwalagal country of the Kurregeg people, and she was named after the highest peak of Arab in Mount Lalawa. So her primary tribal totem is the booga, which is a booby bird, and she has family connections to the western province of Papua New Guinea on her father's side, and descended from the chiefs of Lowan village in Dagua, East Sepik province in Papua New Guinea on her mother's side. And she's, of course, a student of the Diamond Spirit program at Cairns State High School. The Diamond Spirit program, of course, through Netball Queensland, have done so much for emerging netballers, both on the court but clearly off the court as well, providing artwork to us in this very special Indigenous round that we have.
It's really special to be able to celebrate, you know, the Indigenous athletes that we have, not just in this sport but in every sport, and their culture across the country as well, outside of sport completely. It's a really special thing that we as netball and every sport does for that matter. Looks like the Mendi Rays have just called a timeout there. While we were reading that information from Lalawa, it was a really interesting back and forth. We've seen Barnett come back on for the Thunder in goalkeeper and get a couple of turnovers straight away, but then also the Rays fire back and send the ball straight back into their attack line with their defensive efforts. So it's getting a bit hectic out there, and I'm not surprised that the Rays have called a timeout just to give the girls a bit of a breather ahead of half time, try and settle them in and claw this score back.
Would you be making any positional changes throughout either team, Lucy?
I don't know. I think bringing Barnett back on into keeper for the Thunder actually gave them a little bit of fresh legs in that circle. I don't know if you'd then bring Sienna Allen on into goal defence to put those dangerous arms out into the midcourt. The attack line for the Rays is working really well. I wouldn't take off either Tikatau or Rin. They're really settled considering, you know, what they have done the last few weeks. This is probably the best I've seen them play, and same through the mid-court and defence. They just need to take a breath, reset, and keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, completely. I think at this point in the season, halfway, probably the less positional changes, the better. I think from both teams, they really just need to learn to grind it out. You know, it's 6 goals behind. It's not that many, so both teams just need to stay strong, just keep building on those connections. I think sometimes using the rolling subs can make things more confusing than not.
Teams are getting more and more used to it. You know, it's been a couple of years now that the rolling subs have been in the competition. And, you know, that first year it probably took a little while for everyone to settle in. But now they are, you know, teams train for it. They play it each week. They're getting a little bit more used to it. But it often does. You know, it might take at least, you know, 2 or 3 centre passes for a new combination to settle in. And that might be 2 or 3 centre passes that you don't want to risk, basically.
Yeah, I
Great
completely
shot
agree.
there from Bingham.
Of course, in the Super Netball, common tactic is to put on a new shooter for the
Super shot.
Exactly. Its success is debatable. I think statistically, actually, they did prove that the teams that did the best were the teams that
just went for single shots.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is like the opportunity's there, and it can be a game winner if you can execute it well. There are times when it has changed a game, but at the same time, you've seen teams lose because they've been focusing too much on a super shot. So
yeah, I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch the Firebirds Vixens game
I did.
yesterday.
I was playing. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, unfortunately the Firebirds, we had a 2-goal loss. Rani, a new player for the Vixens.
I did read that, yeah.
Super shot in the last second of the game. I think Rudy Ellis had a contact called against her.
Very unlucky.
She sunk it in the last second. Heartbreaking for the Firebirds, but a lot to build off.
Rani's been playing A&L for a number of years now. I've played against her, and she's always been impressive. It's awesome to see her have a crack at this level. And from all accounts I've read, she did spectacularly well.
There we go. There's so many emerging goal attacks in particular in the league. I think the super shot, particularly for the shooters, has brought in a lot of fresh talent for us.
It's really changed the game up as well. You know, the game is starting to move away from that big, tall holding shooter. And even when you do have a big, tall holding shooter, they need to start changing their game. They need to start moving up a bit. The way you see Romelda doing, she's changing her game a lot. She's not just standing and holding the whole time anymore. Great take there from Chloe Cooper. This game is getting very interesting. And if you actually look at the quarter time score, the Rays are winning this quarter by 1. So that'll be a bonus point for them if they can finish this off.
And they've got 1 minute to go.
So winning this quarter now by 2 with the total margin at 4 with less than a minute to go. And a Rays centre pass as well.
Yeah, if I were the Thunder, I'd be a little bit nervous. If they can build this momentum and continue it at after half-time.
That was a really smart tactical timeout there for the Rays. They were the ones that called that just a couple of minutes ago.
And there is, of course, Ticketow finishing it off. There'll be one more for the Thunder.
They want to be patient. They don't want to give the Rays another centre pass. Well, they will now.
They will.
They weren't very smart about that, but Rays have, 25 seconds is more than enough time to score a goal.
Oh, absolutely is.
And especially when they're being as patient and as smart as they have been the last few. Ooh.
Yeah, held ball
Unfortunately,
there.
that was a little bit too patient. Held ball there. They'll need to... Oh, great defensive effort from Cassidy. And great vision into Luca Bellerin. Has plenty of time to finish this shot off. And
someone put that on the highlights reel.
That was excellent work from
My
Eden
goodness.
Cassidy.
She knew how much that team needed that last goal. And wow, didn't she deliver? This Mendi Rays side, there's so many phenomenal players right now. Lucy, who's standing out for you across the entire court right now?
Ooh, those last few minutes from Eden Cassidy, she just stepped up her game. Like she's got the speed and the strength of her sister. We've known that for a long time, but she really just picked up her intensity there, and she lifted her team with her. The same goes for Chloe Cooper down in that goalkeeper role. The pressure she's putting on Chloe Bingham is so impressive. Having said that, Barnett in goalkeeper for the Thunder hasn't let them have any easy goals, and Annie Laurie's been working her butt off in that goal attack role. So it's a really great matchup this game. I'm excited to see what happens in the second half.
I know, 3 goals in it, and of course another half to go. Anything could happen really. 3 goals. Both teams have been very consistent. Lucy and I will of course be back very shortly after messages from our sponsors.
Running and shooting. Did you know that majority of netballers aren't wearing the appropriate shoes on court? Running shoes or generic trainers don't provide the grip and support for the quick, dynamic movements needed in a game. It's time to make the swap with Mizuno.
Is your health currently on track?
A free and simple health check at your participating health service
is an easy way to keep you at 100%.
Make a deadly choice. Book in now and yarn to a GP.
You'll also score this
Deadly Firebird shirt.
Okay, we've got 30 seconds on the clock. Let's go. That's 4. That's 5. Almost. Let's go. We've got 5 seconds. Let's go, Monica. There's 6. Let's see if we get one more. And 7. What a great score. Okay, now it's time for Big Sister to get in. Let's go, Maria. I know you're a defender, but let's try Big 7. Oh. Almost. Yeah, we got one on the board. Okay, I think she needs a bit of help from everybody. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, Maria. We've got 30 seconds. Here we go. Let's
Welcome back to round 7 of the HART Sapphire series. You're joined with me, Hannah Davies, and of course Lucy Benjamin, former Jets shooter. It is Indigenous round, of course, this weekend. Lucy and I were just discussing off recording how important this round is across all sports and just what it means to our community. So of course on court 4 right now we do have a Panthers player in the Ruby League, Kiara Woodbridge, who's reading an acknowledgement of country, of welcoming friendship and hope for the future. And she's attired in traditional Indigenous body art, so if you do get a chance today, you should absolutely make your way over to court 4 and check that out, because it is something that you will not want to miss. So, of course, Thunder 31 and Northern Mendi Rays 28. There's only 3 goals in it. Lucy, we speak about positional changes often. We both kind of agree that the team should kind of just grind it out with who they've got on court. It looks like...
See, the Rays haven't made any changes, which is unsurprising considering the finish they had in that second quarter.
Completely. You did actually mention that you would like to see Alan out in goal defence, and you've got your wish.
Done that. I know, she's so fit and she's so strong, and I think just her height in that mid court will be quite dangerous for the Rays. So it'll be interesting to see how Bella Ring changes her game up. Bella's very quick, and she's been playing exceptionally today. So I think she's up to the challenge.
We've also got a goal attack change for the Thunder. Annie Laurie's back into goal shooter, and goal attack, I think, was Sanderson that we were reading before.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not entirely
sure, though,
it is Sanderson. So if you do know, please do let us know. So our umpires just holding the ball now, waiting to get back on court.
Very interesting second half of netball coming up. You know, the Thunder probably have a little bit more versatility in their bench than the Rays do. And, you know, we've seen them make some changes, so it'll really depend on whether that depth, whether they can use that depth as opposed to, you know, the Rays who are just going to keep grinding it out. Annie Laurie in goal shooter is always such a dangerous option. She's got the strength of the hold as well as the ability to move well around that circle. So that'll be an interesting change to see if Chloe Cooper can step up to that challenge and shut her down as well as she's shut down Bingham.
So I've just read some comments. I believe it is Jackie
Dupuy.
Dupuy.
Again, apologies if that's not how we pronounce it.
She was playing goal defence before, and now she's in the shooting position.
So very versatile.
Very
so
versatile.
Pretty impressive there from Dupuy. It's not an easy thing to go from end to end at this level of competition.
Definitely. And I believe she's from the Caloundra Premier League, so a true Sunny Coast girl.
Oh, Chloe Cooper with a flying intercept. That's exactly what we need to see from her to keep the momentum going for the Rays.
So the Thunder got the first goal here. The Rays will want to retaliate. Luca Bellerin is holding so well against Sienna Allen. And she's got the contact call.
She's really stepped up. You know, she's played a number of years in the Ruby competition and the Division 2 competition prior to the start of the Sapphire Series comp. And, you know, this has been a really awesome opportunity for her to be picked up into the Sapphire Series level, and she's really proved herself. It's taken her a few weeks to settle into this competition, but she's really found her feet.
Completely, and her partnership with Tiki Tau is really just building, especially with Cassidy.
Exactly.
Cassidy, of course, got the well-needed intercept in the last few seconds. She's got lovely movement, and then Barnett's down again.
The third time in the third quarter. I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it's the same kind of. It looks like it's the same foot that she did earlier, so I'm not sure if...
Do you think it's just a cramp? Given how she's coming on and off.
I'm not sure.
It does make me wonder.
Either that or someone's just stood on her foot, and every time it gets stood on again, it hurts just a little bit more.
Oh. You wouldn't believe the amount of times I've had my shoes being pulled off in games.
Really?
Yes.
You're that person.
Yes,
That's
I'm that person.
There's always that one person that loses their shoe.
I think it's because I have small feet, so
probably,
second someone steps on my shoe, the whole shoe just comes off.
No, see, my shoes are always so tight, I think I'd lose circulation to my toes, so I never lose my shoe.
That's probably a good solution that I haven't figured out yet. So the Thunder, they've crept away. The last few goals have gone to them. The Rays, they had a lot of momentum in the last few seconds, but...
Great shot there from Dupuy. And they have settled in. Thunder have kind of stepped up here. The new combinations have obviously, one settled in, helped them. Ooh.
Somehow the
Bit
Rays...
of a messy play. Rays have managed to get
back.
possession back. Bellerin with a relatively short shot, able to finish that off. But I think it's mostly probably that change in the attack end for the Rays. You know, there's fresh legs in there with Dupuy in goal attack, and you know Cooper and Elliott have run the first 2 quarters, I should say, out. So they've got to manage that fatigue and see if they can step up and keep going with their Thunder girls.
Yeah, and they haven't made many positional changes either. The Thunder as well have a bit of a limited bench here, which is probably why we haven't seen Barnett come off. Despite the injury she's obviously carrying. Of course, Leah Woolnough being out.
This limits their defensive options, that's for sure. And then I would assume that they have limited shooting options as well if they've had to put Dupuy back into goal attack if they're switching her end to end. So
yes, well, a few weeks ago we did see Sienna Allen in goal shooter.
There you go.
So I think that tells you all you need to know.
I feel like every tall player though has had a history of playing either end, because depending on which coach you have, they decide whether you're a shooter or a defender, just due to your height.
Or both.
Or
in
both,
the case
exactly.
Of Dupuy.
Yeah. So the Rays, the Rays need a settler here. They're getting a little bit flustered in that circle. They're not. Ooh.
Yeah, Tikatau's feet weren't quite facing the goalpost there. I think just needs to take a second.
Great effort there from Cooper to drive out hard for that ball. A lot of keepers would leave the shooter to make that drive, but she's just going for every opportunity. I think she knows she can beat Laurie on speed.
Oh, there she goes again. And she's staying nicely off the body as well. There's nothing worse.
She's not giving away any penalties.
But when you're caught out a lot, you need to stay and play if you're going to have a crack and go hunting.
And that's what she's doing really, really well.
A beautiful swing over from Dyer. A great hold there from Dupuy.
Great strength, great vision and placement there from French. Unable to finish it off. Oh, but
a couple of air balls from both sides.
Yeah. I think it's just that the speed of the game, it's getting into their heads, it's rushing them a little bit, it's forcing them to think they have less time than they do, and they actually just need to slow it down, be a little bit more patient, and they'll easily settle in.
Yeah, it's certainly a skill to play to the clock and know how much time you have and what you can do with that time as well. Fumble from Tikatau, but no replay call.
Great movement there from Rin. Opens up, splits so she's under the post, and a great settler. The Rays needed that to keep this score nice and close and to keep themselves in the game. Elliott saw that. She needed to take, I think, one extra step, and she would have had a crack at that ball.
So Annie Laurie doesn't...
Oh, Elliott! She saw it. She had to go.
I think that's what my favourite thing about Cooper and Elliott is they just have a crack at everything. And they're fast enough to do so as well. I mean, look at that, Chloe Cooper
putting her body on the line.
Circle.
And as we were saying, they're clean, you know. They're not just taking out players for the sake of it like some other players do.
Yeah.
They're really clean. They're genuinely just having a go at the ball. Great vision down the court. That's the depth that the Rays need off their centre passes.
So it's a contact against Ren. So Metcalf works it down with Barnett. A stray ball. Oh.
And great vision there, straight into Tikitau under the post, who will finish that off.
What a feed there.
They're keeping the margin to 5 here. It's really just hovering around that mark.
Well, they say this is the championship quarter.
That's true. Great play there from the Thunder.
Both teams are just bringing out their best right now.
I think the Rays have had a sniff as well. You know, this is probably the closest they've been for a number of weeks to genuinely having a crack at a win. They've already gotten an extra point from the win in the second quarter. They want to finish this game off.
Wouldn't it be an upset if the Mendi Rays come out?
This is what I think, as I was saying, this is what their role would be this part of the season. They're building and building every single week, and they can't make that top 4, but they could really disrupt that top 4. Oh, amazing vision from Cassidy into Rin under the post, who dribbles the ball in.
I've got such a smile on my face watching these two shooters work it in with their middies from the Rays. From watching them from week 1 to watching them now halfway through, I'll tell you what,
completely different game.
It is.
And it's so impressive. And just the combinations have grown. And like we were saying, it's really hard for them because they don't have that time together that most other teams in this competition have to build those relationships. They've had to do it on court week to week. So, you know, that's why it's taking them 7 weeks to find these connections.
And here we go, Mendi Rays with another centre pass. And Namu swings it in. That swing ball over. I tell you what, Barnett and Sienna Allen, they need to catch on to that pretty soon.
They really do. And, you know, surprisingly, Rin, for not a very tall player and not a very large player either, is getting those balls over the top of players like Barnett and Allen, who would usually eat that up. So they're really deceptive. They're faking them off. You know, they assume she's going to go forward and they just deliver it over the top. The margin is now back to 3. Thunder are still in front, but not comfortably. And a miss like that, putting the ball back into the hand of the Rays, won't make their coach Jess very happy at all.
No, they need to be bringing it in closer when you're at, you know, a point of only 3 away.
While need to treasure every ball.
She can shoot those long ones, but
she needs to be safer.
Yeah.
Great chase there from Barnett. There were, you know, it was a 2-on-1 with 2 Rays players, but she wanted it more and went harder at it.
So we've had another player, McClure, come on in goal defence, who's relieved Sienna Allen just to take a breather, kind of watch the game from the sideline and come on. Fresh legs as well, I'd assume. The Mendi Rays, though, we spoke about fatigue before.
There is no sign of fatigue from the Rays. I feel like they're probably... Oh, amazing movement on the baseline there from Bellerin. Great patience from Eden Cassidy to deliver it straight into her. The Thunder need this ball. They need a nice, easy one. And throwing it to a 2-on-1 contest probably isn't what they need right now.
Tell you what, I want to know what Mendi Ray's night routine was last night. Because
I know.
There's no fatigue on call for them right now.
So impressive. They might need an ice bath after the game today. But
I'd say so. And Chanel Dyer rockets it in to Laurie.
oh,
Another miss from
Laurie,
her.
I know, very uncharacteristic, but I feel like she's probably feeling the pressure a little bit here. She knows how important it is to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Throughout the season, there has been an enormous amount of pressure on Laurie. She is, of course, the most stable shooter for the Thunder. Of course, with Benny and Hunt, her usual go-to girl, away with the Lightning. So there's so much pressure on her this season to perform each and every week, and also to help her new shooters this week, of course, Dupoy, get on court.
and also Chloe Bingham, who, as much as Chloe's been a relative staple in this team, she's still very young and she is still learning. And she's been in and out with injuries and that kind of thing. So, Annie herself is very young, and there's a lot on her shoulders to help these players around her.
Yeah, and it definitely does. It helps to have a more mature player on court. And, of course, Chloe Livlin, their captain, who brings a lot of leadership to the side, is on the bench today. So the Thunder are certainly having to work hard.
That's great pressure there from the Thunder defence. They needed that turnover to extend their lead. They're still only up by 4. And the Rays aren't letting them have an easy transition.
Nope. There we go, the two shooters, hands up straight away. And Annie Laurie settles in a little bit closer.
For the Thunder there. That's exactly what she needed to do in that time. Really lovely patience, and it is now their centre pass. Opportunity to take the lead out to 6, which will be the most it's been for the last quarter or two.
Yeah, certainly. 6 will make it a little bit harder for the Northern Rays, but
it's still not much. 6 is three turnovers, and we've seen that the Rays can easily get 3 turnovers when they want to.
So there's Thomas, shoots it down, and that beautiful little high ball over to Rin. A lot of defensive pressure there from Barnett. But
great pressure, Rin still able to sink that. Such fantastic work there from Rin. She's so composed this game. It's really impressive to see. Good work there from Annie Laurie, just using her footwork, dragging Cooper out and rolling back to the other side of the circle. Very smart from her.
So Eden Cassidy, one of the fastest players on court, moves it down. She'll put this into her shooter there.
Again, great patience from Cassidy. Great roll there from Tikitau to open up that space.
Yeah, we see Cassidy in wing defence as well as centre, but I've got to say wing attack is certainly where she shines.
She just injects herself. She's got such speed and such great change of direction that in wing attack she's much more of an asset to this team than in any other position.
And a good little rebound from Dupoy. Sinks them another shot. It's 48-42. The Thunder can't quite break the 6-goal margin. With 1 minute to go in this third quarter.
Great eyes there and great setup in that circle.
The Mendi Rays have certainly been accurate in the shooting circle today.
Great pressure there from Maya Thomas.
I think that's her third intercept of the
She's
game.
had an absolute blinder in that wing defence position. And as we were saying, against someone like a Chanel Dyer, who is so smart and so... Oof.
It's definitely been a standout game for her. I think this 7 for the Mendi Rays is certainly the way they should keep it for the next
I would say
half of the season.
See the lead into 4 now.
Yep.
The opportunity for the Rays to take it back to 3, which was the margin at half-time, which would make this an even quarter.
If they can take it to 3, then the fourth quarter really is anyone's.
Well, and the way it works with those bonus points, isn't it? The winner, if you win the quarter, if it's a drawn quarter, whoever wins the next quarter gets the points for it.
Yeah.
Also, I think that's how
I
it.
Yeah.
I don't know either. I know it's a bit stressful. So.
And there we go, third quarter, all tied up. Well, not tied up quite.
No, but
48 Thunder to Northern Rays 44. There's 1 quarter left to go
the
here.
Thunder take that quarter by 1. They won't be happy with this lead though. They are in front, but it's not a nice lead. They won't be very. The coach should be a little bit stressed at this point in time because the Rays have shown that they can easily pull this in when they want to.
So I'm just taking a look over at Thunder. Chloe Livlin there with the moon boot on her.
we don't know about that either. We're a little bit out of the loop with
No.
injuries in this Thunder side. Hopefully someone will text me.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep me up to date. I'll have to open up the live stream.
But we will be back very shortly after some messages from our sponsors.
Have you experienced the all-new Victory Bar and Grill at Brothers East Club? Our modern open-air bar and grill is the perfect place, whether you're making a date with family and friends or planning your next event. Open for dinner Wednesday and Thursday, and all day Friday to Sunday. Try for yourself the always evolving menu or the 21 drinks on tap. Join us and relax in the Victory Bar and Grill at Brothers Leagues Club.
Welcome back. You are joined by Hannah Davies and Lucy Benjamin for the first game of today at Nissan Arena, Round 7, HART Sapphire Series. Lucy, we've just had an injury update from some of our trusty
Apparently,
fans.
I know, the lovely Paula Stewart has been keeping me very, very on my toes today, which is I very much appreciate. But both Litherland and Walno from the USC Thunder did their ankles last week, which is why they are not on court today. And you know, due in part to that, due a lot in part to the fact that the Rays have been playing their absolute guts out, we have got a netball game on our hands today.
My
Margin
goodness.
of only 4. The Thunder are up, and that is pretty much, well, less than the margin they had in the first quarter. The Rays have been chasing them down all game.
They certainly have been. There's a lot to play for today with both teams. The Mendi Rays, of course, will want their first win, and the Thunder will want to stay in finals contention. Of course, the Bull Sharks have been doing pretty well the last few games, so yeah, there's a lot to play for in this last 15 minutes.
We've seen both teams come out with the same combinations that they finished the last quarter with, and some excellent throw in there for the Thunder.
So the Thunder will want to come out firing early on in this quarter.
Oh, Bellerin with the pressure on that.
Wow.
That is such excellent pressure from the Rays. You can tell how much they want this game. This is their chance for a win, and it's really their chance to upset this ladder.
Absolutely.
And what it looks like at the moment. Great patience, great swing across to Cassidy, and Tao drives that baseline.
My goodness.
Oh, the drama.
Margin's 3. So Eden Cassidy, she's been a star today. In the circle against Barnett. So Rin, she's got the shot.
She's been on song all day, unfortunately unable to finish that one off. But I don't think the Rays will let Thunder have an easy play down court.
No, I don't think that'll shake her too much.
Great pressure there from Maya Thomas, who has been unstoppable all day against Chanel Dyer.
Yeah, that's got to be my favourite matchup of today is Chanel Dyer against Maya Thomas. They both play with such speed and aggression.
And but they're clean, you know, they're not
Yes.
they're not dirty, they're not hard on the body, they're just going hard at the ball, and they're both so fit and so quick that the matchup is really impressive.
And you can watch the footwork there from Thomas. She gets a little niggle at it. Oh, and Chanel Dyer, she's too fast for her own good sometimes.
She is so speedy, and unfortunately some of her teammates can't keep up with her. Opportunity here for the Rays to bring that margin back to 3.
Amy Metcalf all over that one. And Annie Laurie and Chanel Dyer work it around. They need a shooter to come forward, so they're going to have to swing it round.
See that combination in the circle of Dupuy and Laurie? They're not, you can tell they haven't played a lot together. They're kind of taking each other's space, but Laurie's reading off quite well and opening up that circle.
Yeah, and we of course spoke about it earlier, but it's such a challenge to play with multiple shooters, particularly ones that are Bingham, of course, out injured for the beginning of the season.
And also, you know, shooters that play very different games as well. You know, it's one thing, it's one thing to play with different players, but to have to change your game so dramatically every time you get a different player on, it's very difficult. And Annie Laurie's doing a great job. Unfortunate there for the Rays for Tikitau missing that shot, which is, you know, after Bella Rin missed her shot earlier, the pressure probably is getting to them a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably one of the first games they've had where they're genuinely under that pressure to win. I think the last few games we've kind of seen them come out in particular quarters, you know, that more like nothing to lose style of play. But
whereas
right now
they can,
there is something to lose.
There is a genuine opportunity here for them to have a win, and we'd love to bloody see it. That's for sure. Great control there from Metcalf, great vision, and a good roll-off from Laurie to see that opportunity open up in front of her.
How good is that? Nothing better than a wing defence feed into the shooter.
Yeah. Goal assist. I love a defensive goal assist.
So good. So unexpected as well.
The defence here from the Thunder has absolutely stepped up. You know, they know how important it is for them to shut down Tikitau and Rin. And they're not giving them an inch. Unfortunately, giving away a penalty and therefore a shot on that one from Barnett.
So Dupuy flicks it over to French. And back in.
Great control there. Great reaction. Chloe Cooper gets a hand on it, but Laurie pulls in the rebound.
Ooh.
And Cooper comes out with it on the second chance. This is an absolute cracker game.
There's so much opportunity here from both sides. Possession, I'd say, has been pretty even. And a few rebounds in this last quarter, given all the pressure of the game. So there's plenty of opportunity.
Amazing drive there from Bellerin. And Eden Cassidy to just watch that open up in the background.
Shooters on both sides are looking a little shaken, but she settles under the post. And it's the Mendi Rays centre again. What can they do with this? The margin 5.
What's been so impressive about this game is both teams are actually playing really, really well. It's been an awesome game of netball. And, you know, sometimes you come to these games and you just see one team just hasn't really shown up. They didn't have a good warm-up. They're a bit tired from last night or something, but this has been unstoppable today, and they're both playing really well. There's been standout performances on both teams.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much star power all across the court, and particularly from names that we don't often talk about, which is the most exciting thing for me, is seeing these fresh faces on the court.
The future of the game is very bright, that's for sure.
Certainly.
Eden Cassidy grits it right to the edge of the circle, and as a shooter, that's what you want. You know, you want... a little bit of drama there.
You can really see Mahalia in her when she plays, can't you?
Yeah, when she's doing those kinds of things, it's really impressive.
And you can see Cassidy there.
Telling her team to settle. She knows how important this is for them. The margin is at 5, but with 8 minutes to go, 5 is nothing. It's 2 turnovers, and they've already got one of them.
So the Thunder here, they're holding on strong to their lead.
Great patience here from the Rays. They're not forcing it. They're waiting for it to open up just like that. Tikitau takes her time on the shot, and even with the long arms of Barnett over the top, she finishes off. Great. Cassidy, too quick for her own good.
I think she spends
pressure
a fair
from
bit of time
on the floor. Yes, she definitely does. Great hold there from Laurie. Finishes it off under the post. A nice settled shot from the Thunder, which they definitely needed to maintain this lead. It's a very open forward third for the Rays, which we often don't see. It's been quite crowded for them in previous weeks. So they've obviously learned to kind of balance each other out a little bit better and look for those wider options, which is nice.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think especially in the attacking end, they just know exactly where each other are now, and they know how to balance off each other. I think this combination has just gelled so nicely. The Thunder are working really hard with a fresher combination for them. Dupoy holds her front space. She'll have a crack at this. Can't quite sink it.
Annie Laurie, really great work in the air to come out with that. We'll need to finish this off.
To get that margin back to 5, and she does. So there's 7.5 minutes to go. The Mendi Rays.
A timeout being called and a caution given. I'm not sure who to. I did miss that.
It looks like it may be to Chloe Cooper. She's looked pretty clean from here,
yeah,
but if they see something dangerous.
Or there could have been a sly word said that we missed from up here. You never know. There's always fun like that.
Potentially, white line fever.
Exactly. But, you know.
Are you like that, Lucy, when you were on court?
Oh, definitely. I'm the worst for it, yeah.
I love that you admitted it. You're like, oh, yeah.
I've had to apologise for a number of umpires after games. I do. And
it's heat of the moment
It
stuff,
is. You just get fired up. And especially, you know, Chloe Cooper's been working her absolute guts out. She's one of the main reasons that this game is as close as it is. And, you know, she could see this opportunity here for the Rays. I'm not surprised. She's getting a little bit fired up out there. You know, having said that, that could not have happened at all. And
we could just be
it up.
It's all for the drama. Lucy.
Exactly. I love to build drama.
Yeah. Oh, Chanel Dyer.
Oh, great hold there. Great pressure from Cooper and very impressive from Laurie to find that space to pull that ball in. It's going goal for goal at the moment. We really need one team to get a turnover here. Or it's looking like it will be the Thunder at a very narrow margin.
Yeah, I think the Thunder are going to hold on to this.
Oh, great. That connection between Tikitau and Rin. There's been so many balls like that just fired off at the last second.
Yeah, these two shooters working together and to just grind it out the whole game as well.
Hard luck there. Throw into the Thunder. It did look like it came off Dupoy last, but we're not standing down there next to the court.
Well, that's
but
karma.
Maybe I was going to say maybe that's a little bit of karma there. The ball goes back to the Rays now. They did just lose possession of this. This is their opportunity to bring that margin back to 4. It will.
The fumble from Thomas.
The pressure, the defensive pressure, I should say, from the Thunder attack. They know how important it is not to let.
She's not happy about that.
There from Namo. She had a crack at that, and she probably was obstructing. We should.
Possibly.
And well finished there by Laurie. So that was a really important turnover for the Thunder. It takes their lead out to 6 with 5 minutes to go. It makes it that little bit tougher for the Rays to come back.
Yeah, and without a super shot here at the Sapphire Series, there's not much you can do when you get 6 away. So it's all about consistency throughout the game.
Great pressure from Cooper. A forced ball in. There's a bit of fatigue here from the Thunder. You can see, you know, they're forcing those long balls in that Cooper and Elliott are just going to eat up when they get the opportunity. Rays are trying to be patient, but they're also, in doing so, losing a bit of their vision down the court. Not looking deep, passing laterally when they don't need to. That was a really nice option there.
She swung it across to Cassidy.
But the obstruction call there on Thunder. Rin's able to finish it off. And it is a Rays centre pass. Thunder have called a timeout here, a Sapphire short break, which I'm not surprised they've done. This last 4 minutes with a Rays centre pass could bring the margin back to 4.
Yeah, certainly. Look, they're 5 ahead, but I'd say they're a little bit worried if Jessica's called a timeout within the last 4 minutes.
Well, we saw it. We saw in that second quarter. We saw how quickly the Rays brought that margin back from about 6 or 7 to a margin of 3, and you know they don't want to risk that. The other thing is that the Thunder need the percentage points. If they're drawn in that 4th place, they need to be higher up on percentage to stay in that top 4. So it's Jess would be hammering them to say, don't give them an inch. Let's finish this game off. Let's get those couple of extra goals.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to have to grind this out, stay in finals, so that for the Thunder, hopefully we'll see the return of some of their key players, Woolno, Liveland, and of course Hunt in the Lightning side. So yeah, they absolutely need this win. But the Mendi Rays are so close to getting their first win.
So impressive.
Look, I'd say if it's not this round, given how strong the Thunder are, it'll definitely be coming.
Yeah, they're on their way. And, you know, there's only Well, actually, no, there's a fair few more weeks left in this
Half the
competition.
season.
There's halfway through now. So it's what they're going to bring to these next, 6 or 7 weeks is going to be really impressive. And I think they're going to cause a fair few upsets.
I definitely say so. And yeah, there's so many developing players and the rate at which they're developing as well, especially now that we've got a key 7 that we're seeing on court right now. There's so much they can
gelling,
do.
the combinations are there, the space is there.
And that's one of the hardest things, when you have an entire season off. Finding your key 7 is so much harder for this team than it is
such
the
a different,
others.
exactly, and there's so many different players in this team than were there, 2 years ago when they did compete. So, and it's a new coach, a new combination, new structures, new sponsors, all of those things cause a lot of disruption for them.
It's all new, but my goodness. Oh, a late contest from Rin, probably a bit dangerous. She knows it. She puts the hand up.
So great pressure there. It was a raised centre pass. It could have made the game very dangerous for the Thunder, but they absolutely just shut down their attacking third. It's now up to them to finish this goal off, to lift this lead out. The Rays won't let them have it easy. Great pressure there from Elliott. It's a Thunder throw-in. Oh, great tip there from Maya Thomas and picked up by Chloe Cooper.
Great teamwork from the girls there. That's what you want to see.
Brilliant transition down. Tikitau has the shot.
Oh,
she'll finish it off nice and easy. It is a Thunder centre
she
pass
goes.
though.
She's putting her hands together, Tikitau.
She knows how close they are. They could also come out with a couple more goals with another bonus point in this quarter.
And wouldn't we love to see it? 8th place, versing 4th, but you wouldn't know it. They're certainly not the easy beats anymore. And there we go, it's a raised centre. Still 5 away.
Oh, that is, I was going to say there were a fair few hands.
Oh,
that was unlucky. It did look like there were a lot of arms out from McClure there, preventing Bellerin to get through. But
that's a great take from Dupuy. Pops it off to her go-to girl, Laurie. And the Thunder will have another crack to bring the margin to 7. And if they can bring it to 7, I think that's...
great pressure there. The Rays have the opportunity with a throw-in now.
We've seen that happen a few times now. The feed into Laurie from Dyer just going a little bit too far over. You spoke about fatigue, Lucy.
I think that's it. And given that Chanel did play a game of AFL last night and a cracking game as well, it was a 104-2 win to the UQ Red Lionesses. To 2, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're not wrong.
No, we also did need our percentage points, so we didn't go easy.
Oh, it doesn't sound like you went easy, no. What does Chanel play on the field?
She's been playing in the back line, actually, funnily enough. On that half-back flank. And then a little bit in the wing midfielder kind of role as well. Yeah.
There we go. Did Chanel get any goals last night?
No, she didn't, but she...
Not any of the 104 that you got?
The back line was fairly quiet, as you could imagine.
It's not often we see the back line getting goals now.
No, that's very true.
And here's Tikitau.
Oh, great ball and great pull from Rin. Excellent strength in the air.
That connection all day.
It's so impressive what they've done over the last few weeks. Bringing margin into 4 now. Thunder do have the ball.
They've got 50 seconds
They're not going to lose it from here, but they could give the Rays another crack at a ball. Dupuy comes out with and finishes it off. So option now for the Rays to bring that margin back to 4. Which would be this was a drawn quarter. Great pressure there from McClure. Picked up by Elliott very well. Patience here from the Rays. They don't need to rush this. They can take all the time in the world. They've got 20 seconds to score. Unfortunately, Cassidy falling out of court. Thomas almost gets
Good
that.
effort from her.
Great vision from French into Dupuy under the post. Unfortunately, misses that shot. Rays will most likely be unable to score off this.
Yeah, with 4 seconds to go now. And there she goes. It's not going to count, but what a way to finish the game.
What a game there.
61 to the Thunder, 56 to the Northern Mendi Rays. Lucy, would you have called that scoreline?
I wouldn't have. I came in at the start saying that Thunder were going to have a tough game. Rays have been building, but I didn't think it would be a margin of 5. That was absolutely phenomenal from the Rays. Really great fight from the Thunder, not to let them back in. There were many opportunities there that the Rays probably could have taken that game off them, and they just didn't let them. It was so much tenacity from both sides.
Yeah, what a game. So many star players on court. If you had to pick your top two, one from each, who'd you go?
I would. It'd have to be Chloe Cooper from the Rays.
Absolutely.
She just did not stop. Her combination with Elliott was fantastic. They absolutely fought and fought and fought. For the Thunder, probably Annie Laurie. You know, there's a lot sitting on her shoulders in this game. There's a lot of pressure on her to finish off, and I think she really stepped up. There were times you could see she was getting a little bit probably fatigued. The pressure was getting there, but oh God, she did a fantastic job.
Oh, what a game though. So much awesome stuff across the entire court. The Mendi Rays, there's so much more to come for them, and the Thunder will be very happy with that win. It really puts them back in that contention for finals, so they'll be happy with that. Of course, our graphics today across the entire day were made by Lalawa Donigi Bedford, and she is a member of the Murrum tribe of the Erubim people. So thank you, Lalawa, for that. And of course, our sponsors, HART Sport, Legassic, Mizuno, Mount Franklin, Powerade, Bondi Vite, and Strap-It. We're seeing a lot of Strap-It on court today.
Lots of Strap-It.
A lot of injuries going around.
Yes.
And of course, our broadcast team, Gina, and the team at Double Take Sports. So thank you all so much for listening in today. You can, of course, stay on board for the rest of the day. Next up, we have the Bond Bull Sharks taking on the Cougars. So that's first versus fifth. Lucy, you won't be there for that, but I believe you're sticking around to catch the action.
I'm definitely going to heckle, that's for sure. I'll be on the sideline cheering hard.
If you see Lucy heckling, just look away.
Yeah, don't let your children sit near me either.
Of course, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for all the match replays. You can hear Lucy and I chat all weekend long. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay on board as we continue for the rest of the day. Thank you.